The Bhagavad Gita is a 700 verses Hindu scripture which is a part of the great epic called the Mahabharata. This scripture is written in Sanskrit and it primarily depicts the dialogue between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna during the Mahabharata in the Kurukshetra. This scripture, through its timeless wisdom, teaches us, or rather guides us, how we can have a life which is filled with righteousness, thereby trying to achieve the spiritual fulfillment in our lives. And in today's video, I am trying to, use these verses in order to understand how we can apply towards our homemaking jobs. Hi, I'm Vaishnavi, and my channel is all about homemaking motivation. Anything and everything that's related to homemaking motivation, I try to come up with the content on my channel. So, if you are interested in such kind of contents and you're new on this channel, then please do consider to subscribe to my channel. If you're already a part of this channel, then please welcome back. So, without any further ado, let's start today's video.
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भुर्माते संज्ञोस्त्वकर्मणि. It means you have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to inaction.
Neither success nor failure should be the driving force for us homemakers in order to perform our duties on a day to day basis. This is so very important for us to acknowledge that the more we concentrate on the process, the more we feel very fulfilled and satisfied about the job that we have taken up. And the more we are thinking about the result, we will always remain under stress and anxiety. So, this particular verse in the Bhagavad Gita beautifully explains that it is very important that we need to stay duty minded. We need to have that, attitude of performing our duties without attaching any kind of results that will come out of it. Whatever may be the result, be it failure or success, that should really not affect us when we are taking up the task. When we start doing this, it is only then that we realize that there is more satisfaction uh, in the process rather than the result that we get out of such processes or after taking up tasks. So, yes, as a homemaker, this is a beautiful rule, and this is the number one rule which I need to keep in my mind, and that is I need to perform my duties with the most service mindedness kind of an attitude, and I should not uh, attach it with results or kind of appreciation from anybody, because as long as we keep ourselves in that particular zone wherein we are waiting for validation from others, or for that matter we want to get something out of the task that we are doing, I don't think we will really enjoy the process. On the contrary, we'll get into anxiety, we will build up the stress in order to get that kind of validation, which in my opinion is kind of not so good and not so favorable to have a positive mindset as a homemaker. So, this particular verse, I think we need to keep it in our mind, and that is always approach your particular job in a way that you stay focused and you only concentrate on the duty rather than attaching it with the end result or the kind of outcome that you're looking for.
तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यः कर्मसमाचार असक्तो ह्याचरणकर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः. It means, therefore, without being attached to the results of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the supreme.
We always try to postpone the kind of happiness that we are looking for. We always try to attach things to whatever we have taken up. It is like I usually, have self talks that, I will be happy if this is accomplished. I will be happy if this happens. So, what am I doing? I'm just trying to postpone my happiness. If I stop doing that, and if I understand the meaning of this particular verse, which says, do not attach any kind of outcome or result with the kind of work that you're rendering. If I keep this particular point in my mind and I just tell myself that I don't have to postpone any kind of happiness, or I do not have to attach any kind of emotion on the completion of a task, or on the kind of outcome that I'm looking for. So if I start practicing this, I feel it will give me a sense of fulfillment, and of course that kind of peace of mind, because as I said, we will not get into anxiety and stress. So yes, this particular verse is very beautiful, and as we all feel that it is timeless wisdom that we get from the Bhagavad Gita, and this particular verse, it kind of makes us understand that it is always better to keep the process different from the result. As long as we try and attach these two things, it will only lead towards the kind of anxiety and stress, as I said. And also it makes us feel that we have to wait for a certain thing to happen, and then we can have that kind of a fulfillment within us. Whereas the reality of life is, as long as we are concentrating on the process, as long as we are really enjoying the job while we have taken it up, I think that gives us the true fulfillment and not the result of that particular task. So, this particular verse is, of course, beautiful, and we need to understand the true meaning, and that is try and detach the result and outcome from the process you undertake.
यद्यादाचरित श्रेष्ठस्तत्तदेवेतरो जनाः स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते. This means whatever action a great person performs, common people follow. Whatever standards they set by exemplary acts, all the world pursues.
We homemakers are rightly called the strong pillars of the house. Literally, the entire family looks upon us in a way that, whatever we talk or whatever kind of attitude that we show, it is kind of setting an example for them. So, for example, when it comes to kids, it's not that if I sit and give a lecture to them, or if I just make them, understand certain concepts only by way of talking, they will not learn it. It's only when I start leading them by example. I need to be that kind of exemplary person in the house who is actually showing things practically, so that they get influenced. So this particular verse talks just about that. This verse emphasizes on the point that we need to be that kind of person and show to our family members that this is the way I lead my life, this is the way I am, taking care of my mental health, I'm taking care of my physical health. And by that kind of example that I'm showing, I'm sure my family members will get influenced. On the other hand, if I am a weak minded person and I do not set goals for myself, and if I do not have the kind of focused attitude towards the jobs that I undertake, I don't think my family members will ever appreciate the kind of job that I'm rendering, or they would ever appreciate the kind of service I am giving as a homemaker. They would rather get influenced by that kind of negative mental attitude, and it will take no time for them to just replicate my behavior or my way of dealing with things. So yes, it's very important, and it is in fact very essential for us to be under that kind of consciousness that yes, whatever I do, it will be seen by my kids, or whatever I say will be administered by their tiny minds. And that's the reason why I need to set that kind of example. So it also means that the kind of discipline that I show, that is waking up early, completing my tasks, staying organized, all these things, they will be watching me. Looking at me, they will feel that yes, this is something that we need to inculcate in our lives too. But on the other hand, if I myself am very disorganized, I'm not disciplined at all, I don't wake up early, I'm not doing justice to my job, then that is the kind of example I'm sending through my actions. So yes, this particular verse we need to remember in our mind, and that only says that we need to set that kind of example, because yes, as homemakers we have tremendous duties towards shaping our family, towards shaping the characters of the kids. So it becomes very, very important that we understand the meaning of this verse and try and implement it in our lives in the most practical way.
न चैकान्तमनश्रतः न चति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुनः युक्तहारिविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. This means there is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. He who is temperate in his habits of eating, sleeping, working, and recreation can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system.
Nobody really appreciates any kind of extremity in any given thing in our lives. And Mother Nature herself teaches us by her way of showing that when the nature goes to her extreme, then it only brings about disaster. Be it the flood or the famine, they are the kind of extremities that Mother Nature shows us. And when we try to implement this particular thing in our lives, we understand, we acknowledge the fact that any kind of extremity will only bring about some kind of damage into my lifestyle. It will not improve my lifestyle, or it will not benefit me in any way. So this beautiful verse talks just about that, and that is, we need to be very conscious about the fact that we need to lead a life of moderation. Moderation is the key. Everything needs to be done in moderation, be it our diet, or even, I would want to go to the extent to say that even our thought process should not have any kind of extremities. We need to have that kind of sensitivity in ourselves that overthinking sometimes can be bad, and sometimes not giving it a thought at all also can be bad. So these are two extremities. So we need to practice this kind of moderation even at a thought level process. So this particular verse says exactly that you should neither eat too much nor should you eat too less. You should neither sleep too much nor should you sleep too less. So all these things which make a part of our day should be treated by us in a way that will benefit us health wise, be it physical or the mental health, but it should be beneficial. And that can be achieved only when we have the knowledge that we need to treat all these aspects of life with an attitude of achieving moderation in all of these. So this particular verse is something that we need to use as a guiding light, and try and inculcate these beautiful qualities. And that is, we need to be very conscious about the way we are treating ourselves when it comes to physical health as well as mental health. Any kind of extremity should be avoided. I hope you liked today's content, and if you have got any feedback to share, then please leave it in the comment section below under this video. I would highly appreciate reading your feedback, and I would also love to reply back. So, the intention of creating this content today was very clear in my mind, because there are such beautiful scriptures in our Hindu culture, and if we have that kind of attitude to learn something from these scriptures, then it's only we who are going to get benefited. So for me, the scripture is something that always guides us when we are in kind of, some kind of anxiety, we are worried about something. These scriptures, as they really carry that kind of timeless wisdom, will always bring us out of that kind of anxiety or stress. So, yes, I highly recommend you also do your own research and come up with uh, such verses which will actually help us in our day to day lives. And that's all about it. Until the next content, please take care of yourself and happy homemaking.